Live from New York, this is WIUR Radio.
What is up with it, everybody? Live from the studios of WIUR Gales Radio. Welcome to Ball Knowers alongside Robbie Basil, who will be joining us right now. I am Cameron Woolley. So first of all, just want to read out a couple of things here. Congratulations to Landon Popovich, the host of Empire State of Sports, for being a finalist for the IBS Awards for the best sports talk show.
Next year, that will be us. Next year, that will be us.
Yeah, I'm
chat.
wondering how to get that.
Oh no,
everything sorted out.
Oh no, we were supposed to send stuff, and then I just forgot.
That's
literally
well,
what
also
it is.
this semester I've been slammed.
Both
So
of us have.
yeah.
Well, that was supposed to be, I think, submitted.
Well, it's because the classes aren't even in my major. So I'm taking my science credit. I'm taking my science credit this semester. So I'm obviously
That's
being
what happens.
I'm slammed out. Like when non-STEM people take STEM classes.
Yes. I took science in the fall of my sophomore year. First of all, welcome back. Thank you for watching us today. And I took it in the fall of my sophomore year. I took bio class. I had to take it because I was still in honors. I take the class. It's the lowest grade I've had in this school. I got a C+ in the class.
Hey, that's passing.
I know, but it didn't look good when I was an honors student. I'll tell you that for free. But know what does look good, chat? Your boys got show of the week. We deserve a round of applause.
Yes,
Hold up.
yes.
Yes, we won show of the week. I did a thing. I took a look at it yesterday. It's my sixth time winning show of the week.
I've lost count of how many times
You've
I've
won it
show
more
of the
than me.
week.
That's all I know. He's won it significantly more than I have. But yes, thank you for voting us for show of the week. We finally got it. Wish Luke was here. I would ask Luke what he would think of it.
The NHL trade deadline. Oh my god.
But the ghost of Luke is just not here. Yeah, Luke's taking a test.
Okay, he'd be living.
He's gonna go nail his midterm, and he'll be back in 2 weeks. So
hopefully he nails his midterm. I got a couple.
I've
today.
won. I've
got a double header.
Oh, you have a double header. Oh, that sucks. Wait, what time are yours at?
I got one at 2 with the same professor that we have for history.
Oh, you have the Whitman midterm. Text me how that goes. Please.
I mean, yeah. I'll give you. I'll give you something of it if I remember. I'll give you a scouting report.
Yeah,
but
because we're both in the same class, but we're at different times. Because he's at 2 and I'm at 3:30, so we both have the same midterm. What's your other one?
Earth science.
Oh God,
it's my science
he's
class.
Finished. He's absolutely finished.
I've been studying. I've been putting in the work. I went to Ryan Library last night.
There you go. Well, there are some teams that didn't put in the work over the NHL trade deadline, and that's where we're going to begin with. We'll start with your New Jersey Devils, who I don't know what you'd grade their trade deadline, Cam. It was a very weird one, to say the least.
I mean, this just shows you how weird hockey is because they trade for Cody Glass. Well, their trade deadline overall, they traded for Brian Dumoulin, which happened before our show last week. We talked about that.
Yes.
They traded for Cody Glass, who's actually fit in really well.
Is he made of glass, though?
I don't know. Hopefully not. This team's been injured enough, but...
Hold on.
Cody Glass has been a.
Oh my
god! Boo! Boo! But yeah, Cody Glass has been a pretty nice fit for the team as the number 3 center. I mean, he's actually made a few plays. He scored a goal in his opening game. He had a couple points. He had a couple points in a huge win against Columbus on Tuesday, which I was not expecting at all. And then they traded for Daniel Sprong, who was in his first game on the same line as Cody Glass. And then he scratched him for the game in Columbus, which of course ended up winning 5-3. So, Dennis Chelsea from the New York Islanders, who's logging in, who is now logging in minutes every night because Jamie Hamlin has now been They always scare me though. They have a couple of that. They always win a couple rounds. They look like a team of destiny. It looks inevitable, despite what every single stat on earth tells us. And then they usually run into a team from Florida and get bounced in the conference final, or at least that's been the case the last couple years with the Rangers. And the Rangers lately have actually they're on a 4-game stinker right now, which that's really bad timing for them. Like this has been the whole season with the Rangers. They have a stretch where it looks like they're really back, they're in form, and they're gonna make a run at things. And then they just fall apart. And this past weekend, they had a back-to-back against Ottawa and Columbus. Ottawa, they had a 2-goal lead in the third. They blew that, and then Brady Tkachuk scored the winner in overtime. And then they had a game against Columbus. So, like, very big game. Columbus, they're the big name that everyone's looking at in the Eastern Conference wildcard race. And they went down 3-1. They scored 2 shorthanded goals to tie the game. And I'm thinking, here we go. Here's the magic, voodoo magic from the Rangers. And I just said magic twice in the same sentence.
Boo.
Yeah,
hey, he deserves to get booed more than me because
yeah.
my joke was bad, but his comment was even worse.
Yeah, well, like, there's some devil magic there. And then they scored. Then the Blue Jackets scored 4 unanswered in the Garden and just ran them out of the building. So, whatever. And then they just lost in regulation to the Winnipeg Jets.
That's right. Yes.
It was too much. I know there was a sketchy call there. I know Matt Rempe got called for goaltender interference. And I know the Ranger fans, anytime Matt Rempe gets called for anything, they think the league just has a target on his back. But
most of the time he does it to himself.
Yeah, most of the time he does it to himself. Yeah, like dude, the flying elbows. It's like anytime I see Matt Rempe get called for anything and I look at the replay, I'm like, yeah, you know what? That's kind of
fair, right?
Like, yeah, it's fair.
Well, let's stick with the Rangers real quick because they had an interesting trade deadline as well. They moved multiple former big pieces and they had to retain some salary. They traded Ryan Lindgren, Jimmy Vesey. We knew that before, or I believe we knew that.
Yeah, that was like weeks ago.
But then
that happened.
It was great in their deadline as a whole. They traded Riley Smith, like Luke predicted. He went back to Vegas, which I'm like,
I mean, no, but that's a good fit.
I think that's a good fit. They got a 3rd-round pick for him. If you had to give a grade to the Devils, because we'll finish with New Jersey, and then the Rangers trade deadline, what would you give them?
I'd give the Devils like a C- because at the end of the day, dude, they needed a real scorer and they didn't pony up what
they didn't. They needed a scorer who could score, and
they didn't pony up the necessary assets. But you know what? The sport is so weird that Cody Glass could be the missing piece to a playoff run. This is a weird sport. Like it would be Cody Glass who kind of rights the ship. Like it would be, but I digress. I think I'm just riding the high of consecutive wins for the first time in over a month.
That's nuts.
I think for the Devils of consecutive wins, and I'm just like Ideally, I want to get 3rd in the Metro. We have a 6-point cushion. We have another game against Columbus next week in Columbus, though. So that's going to be a little rough. But they also have one more game against the Rangers. And I think they're playing Ottawa either this weekend or next weekend.
I don't remember.
I think so. There's some pretty intriguing games. I mean, all these games are going to be important down the stretch because in the NHL, when you're kind of close in the standings like this, even when you're less than 10 points in a playoff spot, all of these games become really important because any point that you get, especially when you have a cushion, it exponentially increases your chances of getting in. And that's all the Devils need to do. The Devils, they have a lighter schedule the rest of the way, which obviously bodes well that if you could pick any time for the whole team to fall apart, you lost Jack Hughes, who's basically an entire line on his own, an entire top line on his own,
right?
And you lose Jonas Siegenthaler and Dougie Hamilton, who are both top pairing defensemen, and that really sucks. But if you could pick any time for them to go down, maybe it would be no time is a good time for them to go down. But when you have when you have a light schedule. Like, honestly, you just back into the playoffs and hope that your defense and goaltending can squeeze out a few wins there. No, maybe just get the playoff experience under your belt. It's important for guys like Nico Hischier, Jesper Bratt, Timo Meyer, Luke Hughes, obviously, who's really coming to his own. Yeah, Thanasis Hughes.
Thanasis
Yeah,
Hughes.
Thanasis Hughes, who
Which is how
everybody
you
likes to
referenced
call.
him last week. And I believe in the past as
Well,
well.
no, Luke's been calling him Thanasis Hughes.
Oh, really? I see. This is
He's
why I
been
asked the
calling him
hockey guy more.
Thanasis Hughes. Meanwhile,
hockey
he's point per game in his last 8 games. And since his brother has gone down, it would be a really good time for Luke Hughes to step into the role as a top defenseman, which he's been doing in spades. At least offensively, he's been creating chances and making plays, scoring goals even.
Yeah, well, there's one other team in New York that we have to assess their trade deadline, other than the Sabres, because they didn't really do a lot.
Who cares
No,
about the
they got
Sabres?
Josh Norris for, I forgot his name again,
Dylan Cousins.
for Dylan Cousins.
Yeah, watch Dylan Cousins turns like an 80-point player.
Like that
in
trade
Ottawa.
made no sense.
No, that
but
is so going to happen. I wanted Dylan Cousins so badly because I know exactly
yes,
what
we were
happens
talking about that last
to
week.
players when they get out of Buffalo who are like stuck in second gear. They hit their stride.
There's a couple good ones.
Of Sam Reinhart.
Sam
Dude,
Reinhart.
Sam Reinhart's
Perfect
a
example.
50 goal, like he's a lock for 50 goals a year now.
It's incredible, isn't
And he
it?
was drafted like 10 years ago
That's
by
crazy.
Buffalo, and he just got free from them.
Well, let's go over to the Islanders. Their one significant move, actually, stabbed me in the heart a little bit, was Brock Nelson. Now, Brock Nelson, the 33-year-old, was traded to Colorado for actually a better return than I thought we were going to get.
Dude,
for him.
didn't they get like 2 firsts?
We got
and you got a first and a really good prospect.
We got a first, Callum, a really good prospect in Callum Ritchie.
Yeah, Callan Ritchie. That
and
guy.
Oliver Clinington, who we immediately traded to Hockey Hell in Anaheim, immediate for basically nothing.
Dude,
So,
Callan Ritchie.
I was like,
that name.
Callum Ritchie.
Callan Ritchie, whatever. I'm Callan Ritchie, dude. That's
Let me
a guy
know
I
you on Callum
That's
Ritchie.
that's a guy you gotta like look out for.
Has he played in? Oh no, he hasn't played in the NHL since October, but he's been in the minors. But he's the former first-round pick from the Avs, 27th overall. A lot of people like him. They liked what the Islanders got for Brock Nelson, a Brock Nelson guy who had 43 points going into the trade. I hate trading a guy like Brock Nelson, but it needed to happen. The
Yeah,
Islanders
it's
were not
necessary.
going. The Islanders weren't really going anywhere, and they had to trade him or Palmieri. They didn't trade Palmieri, which made no sense.
They should have traded. Dude, I want Kyle Palmieri.
I thought he was gonna be the one to go to the Avalanche. I'll be really honest, because I know he was linked to there for like 2 seconds, and then they're like, "Yeah, Brock Nelson, Avs, done." I'm like, "Okay, sure, I guess." But nah, the Islanders, they needed to move one of the two or both. They picked the option A, and they got a good return from it. I'm intrigued to see what Ritchie can do in the future, and an Islanders team that hopefully tries to get younger. I don't know what they're trying to do anymore. It's Lou Lamoriello running a team. So we honestly don't know. But what we do know is that our teams, we could praise the bejesus out of the trade deadline. But unfortunately, we have to take a break. When we return, we pick our favorite move from the trade deadline and break it down for you guys. Plus, NFL free agency. Our teams have had a very mixed start to that as well. Stay with us here on WIUR Radio.
This is WIUR Radio.
Hi, this is Anthony Carlo, TV news reporter in New York City and proud alum. If you're looking for a career in media, Iona is the place to be. From internships to real-world experience, Iona's media program is unprecedented. Take it from an industry professional who made it in the biz.
Now back to WIUR, Iona University Radio.
Welcome back to WIUR Radio. Ball Knowers, live from New Rochelle, New York. I am by myself, but that won't be that way for long. But before we return to the glorious content and more trade talks and free agency splashes and overpayments beyond belief, we have some ad reads for you guys. So let's dive right into the ad reads. So WIUR is looking for e-board positions for the fall semester. Everything is open. Go to WIUR Gales Radio on Instagram and click the link in the description in the bio if you're interested in joining the e-board. Make sure you fill that out by Friday because WIUR e-board positions could be filling up fast. Also, while you're here, we'll do this read now. WIUR is back with more sports broadcasting, and we will return on Friday for the first baseball broadcast. And I don't even know how long it will be. Actually, us doing it,
Yeah.
which is it's for one, it's Cam's debut on a team not named esports. First of all, but along with that, it's the first baseball broadcast of any kind, either from Iona Insider or radio since 2021. It's the first significant radio broadcast since the days of the ad we just played of Anthony Carlo. Cam, first of all, welcome to making your debut tomorrow. I'm very excited to do the game with you tomorrow. It'll be us. It's Iona. It's the Mount. 3 p.m. WIUR Mixler, not the YouTube, the Mixler. It's gonna be fun, isn't it?
Oh man, I'm excited, dude. I haven't properly called like a IRL like real sport like ever. So this is
It's gonna be
like
fun.
this is uncharted territory for me. I mean, this is something that you dream of, obviously. I mean, it's gonna be really fun. I've had so much fun with esports, and like it's a bummer that the MAC esports isn't doing Atlantic City this year, because guess where I'd be right now? And
they're not doing anything. I was gonna ask you about that because, like, for those who don't know, Cam's is casting for Iona Esports.
I haven't
What
done any. I
happened?
haven't done any this year, but
You haven't
like,
done any this year, but in the past you have.
in
What
the
happened
past
to
I've
that?
done well. With that, there was just like they moved facilities. Like
Yes.
I've been like there's just been a lot of moving pieces.
We need
and
Cam
I
back
wouldn't be
on esports, so make sure to
able-
throw a
Well,
like for
that
Cam.
was like ever since my freshman year, the facilities just like the accommodations for broadcasting just got worse and worse. Like my freshman year,
you gotta
my-
see what
like,
WIUR
like
is.
my freshman year, I had like a room that I could go into in the
Yes,
student year. It's
you
like
did,
a random
yeah.
conference room.
Yeah.
That a setup in there where I could do the streams and do the casting. It was nice. Sophomore year, I lived with a bunch of esports people. I had a dorm. They understood the task.
I actually live in his dorm. I
And-
live in the dorm that he was at.
Yeah, Knies
kind-
34.
Knies 34, you know. And then this year,
And this year, Rocket League. I don't know what's happening with Rocket League. There's been no real like effort to get on air talent on the streams, which like I can't blame them because there's not really a lot of ways to make that happen.
exactly.
Like
Well,
Rocket League, I don't even know if there is a team.
we don't know, but what we do know is that we'll be live for you tomorrow on Mixler. But it's time to talk more NHL trade deadline because we wish we could be here for 16 hours if we could. But unfortunately, that's not how it works. And right now, real quick, because the time is going by so fast, Cam, we have to talk about some of our favorite NHL trades of the deadline. Now, there's one that I'm just going to take so you don't steal it. And it was the trade that occurred at 3:01 when it was announced, is one of my favorite and unexpected moves of the trade deadline. And my selection is Brad Marchand to the Florida Panthers.
Him and Matthew Tkachuk on the same
The rat
line.
goes
They're
to the
They're probably
Rats.
going to be on the same line.
I know.
Dude, that is dude,
That's why I'm
gonna
excited
be,
for it.
That's good. That's just awful.
No,
like
so-
that is just terrible. Oh my god.
So let me explain why I think it can work. But really, the one reason I think it won't work is because they tried this before. Before
Claude Giroux.
with Claude Giroux before they got Matthew Tkachuk. I believe it was before they
It
got
was
Matthew.
before they got Matthew Tkachuk.
So
yeah.
it was before the team turned into a God squad. I think it will work more because they have more competent players and they're a much better team than what they
the
were.
System. They have it in place. They have Paul Maurice.
Yes, I remember when they questioned Paul Maurice. Also, Luke is here. W's in the chat. W's in the chat. Luke is here. I don't know how he got here, but the man with the long hair. He gets another applause actually. Of course, he ruins his own intro. He ruins his own whole intro. He ruins the whole intro. I don't know what that was about because we were hitting the applause button. Well, first of all, Luke's here, everybody, so we could turn his mic up. We're actually talking NHL trade deadline, but we unfortunately we missed your team already. So unless we want to backtrack and spend more time,
we've got too much to
we
get
got too much to get to. We're talking about our favorite trades of the deadline. So my selection, we were just talking about it. was Brad Marchand to the Florida Panthers. And I thought I'll go into my more analysis now. I think Brad Marchand, I didn't going into this season, did not expect him to come back to the Boston Bruins. I thought he was going to retire like Bergeron and company. But in the last season, they traded Marchand, they traded him from Boston. It doesn't seem right. It's unprecedented, unexpected. And I think it will work because I had question marks thinking about how it used to be like when I brought up Claude Giroux, which they brought up an old forward that Florida tried to bring in to help out the team. But I think Marchand's going to work. I think the Rat going to the team of rats, as some would call him on Instagram, should be an interesting move. But yeah, it's a fun trade. It's something I did not expect. I'll tell you that.
Me neither. Dude, I thought Marchand was going to retire a Bruin.
I think everyone did. But remember when Zdeno Chara and everyone thought he was going to retire a Bruin, and then he went to Washington,
and then he went
and
to the
Islanders.
He went back to the Islanders where he started his career.
Yeah.
Yeah. What didn't Mike Milbury draft him?
I don't
Yes.
even know.
And traded him.
Mike, why are you still a general manager?
No.
Mike, why? Like just the Mike and the Mad Dog. Mike, why are you still a general manager?
One of the
I cannot do a very good. My Mike is significantly better than my Mad Dog.
Oh my
not
God.
not only
Mike Milbury.
not only
I can't.
did they eventually trade Zdeno Chara, just to follow up on that point, they traded him and a second overall pick, which became Jason Spezza
Oh, really?
and Bill McCult for Alexei Yashin.
Well in.
We have talked way too much about
That's
Alexei
a
Yashin.
brilliant trade.
Yes.
Brilliant trade. But Cam, we'll go to you next because we asked the question while we were going to break before we announced WIUR baseball tomorrow. What was your favorite trade of the deadline, if you had to mention one? I think we know what his is. If I had to guess, I do actually, because you brought it up like 15 times during the last show. You questioned this one player getting traded or not.
I think just because like it's really funny and it showcases terrible asset management, I like Mikko Rantanen going to the
That's
Dallas
what I thought
Stars.
he was gonna pick.
I mean, like,
I
thought Carolina was going to ride it out with him. It's like that's an elite forward. That's an elite forward, an elite winger. And when you're trying to win a Stanley Cup, you got to go for broke every year. I don't like the move from Carolina's perspective. I'm just going to be frank. I love the move for Dallas because not only is he just a really, 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 really good player, he also fits into that Finnish coalition that they have over there.
Dallas
With Rope Hant and Miro Heiskanen.
I mean, I was gonna say Carolina had one a bit too.
I mean, yeah, Carolina
did.
had one a little
They did.
there. Isn't Logan Stankoven also Finnish?
I don't think so. No.
Stankoven might
Oh,
be
no,
Finnish.
Stankoven sounds
Sounds more
Finnish.
Swede. No?
Scandinavian.
I'll look up.
Scandinavian supremacy out in Dallas and Carolina, apparently. But you talk about, I mean, what? Remember what they traded? Carolina traded.
Marty Natchez.
Yeah,
Yeah, they got it. Marty Nages and Jack Drury.
that's crazy. I mean, the fact that they traded assets to get a guy to then lose him like a month later.
Stankoven's Canadian.
Stankoven's really?
Yep.
Huh, probably has some.
I mean, his name is
probably
Logan.
some like ancestry there that goes back to.
Probably. I mean, he's
Probably goes back to.
his name is
Europe or
Logan.
something.
His name is Logan. Fair, honestly.
Yeah,
I
don't
didn't
know why.
know.
Well, I mean, probably he has like Finnish blood in him or something. He's got it.
I mean, we'll figure it. We'll see. But I mean, what would you grade the trade from Dallas's perspective? I mean,
If
from
I-
all
I'd-
three
I'd
teams,
give- I'd give
from the
it-
original trade to this trade, what would you grade it for all three teams?
I give Carolina like a D minus.
F. Can we give them
At least they got.
Can we
like,
give them a
picks.
G?
They got some.
Can we give
they
them
got
a G?
assets.
Yeah.
Like they got some. Granted, they managed their initial assets terribly.
correct.
I love this as a fan of a team in the Metro who may end up playing Carolina in the first round because it went from like the Devils playing the Hurricanes in round one went from like a slam dunk sweep for the Hurricanes to all of a sudden like, oh wait, they don't have Marty Natchez and they also don't have Mikko Rantanen.
Mm.
Like sure, Stankoven's good, but
Good.
he's not Mikko Rantanen.
Right.
And he got a bag from Dallas. That is
12
a
million a year?
bag, 12 million a year.
Jesus.
He could have gotten more.
I know.
If he hit the open market.
He could have. He was. Carolina was offering more. too.
Were they?
Apparently,
It's news to me.
I was like, hey, great, Texas, no state income
no
tax.
state income tax.
Yeah.
But
Dude understood the assignment.
like, I guess my favorite trade was also probably the Miko Rantanen trade. It was the biggest one because Dallas improves their forward group immensely, and they get a premier player in Miko Rantanen, who's like fourth in points in like the last like several years. Like he's like fourth on that list of total points in that time span. Of like behind like McKinnon, the usual the suspects of
Yeah, McKinnon, McDavid,
and Draisaitl.
Yeah,
He's right behind them.
It was an interesting
And,
trade. Yeah.
But apparently he got like around a similar contract offer from Colorado, which they declined, and then they traded him unexpectedly. And he wasn't vibing in Carolina to a point where he just basically said he wasn't going to sign there.
there's got to be something going on in Carolina. There's got to be something up there
But
that makes players just not want to stay there and commit long term.
But apparently no one wants to play for the Rangers.
No, people want to play for the Rangers.
But that was a narrative that
I mean,
that was a narrative people were throwing out there after what they were doing early on in the season. But it's just Dallas improves immensely, and I mean I don't hate Carolina return that much because it's a guy that wasn't going to be there, and who wasn't really gelling anyway.
But again, dude, that's Mikko Rantanen.
I know, but he wasn't playing. He wasn't playing like Mikko Rantanen for the Hurricane. He wasn't playing like Mikko Rantanen, at least points production wise. Who knows if he would have like rebounded anyway? But the say of the matter is
Also, remember he's been tied to Nathan McKinnon for his entire career.
I know. Well, I mean, yeah, but also I watched the Hockey Psychologist video on Rantanen's analysis on like his analysis of Rantanen. He's very smart. He knows how to like facilitate offense, like for people who have more speed.
Yeah.
He was a better fit for Colorado than it was for the Carolina's.
Oh yeah, because
team.
Colorado, they fly.
And he's a much better fit for Dallas now than he is for Carolina because Colorado and Dallas play like similar style of games of like with speed.
Really? I thought. Wait, doesn't Pierre DeBoer coach Dallas?
Yes.
Yes.
I wouldn't characterize Pierre DeBoer's style
Well,
as
it's the personnel.
I mean, yeah, like I would not characterize Pierre DeBoer as fast.
Rantanen is really good at using the leverage of like his teammates, like his speed and skill, to his own advantage as a playmaker.
You can do a lot of good things for that Dallas Stars team, a team that we know will contend. But we're going to leave the NHL trade deadline alone because it's already 12:30, and we haven't talked about the biggest event of the week yet, which was NFL free agency. And I, as a New York Jets fan, we're going to start with the Jets because they did something very unprecedented yet expected. They cut Aaron Rodgers. They cut Aaron Rodgers because they wanted to get older or younger at quarterback. So the Jets trading swapping first round picks for a guy who's not even on the team anymore. Brilliant work. The Jets then proceeded to cut one of my favorite players. CJ Mosley is now gone, which okay. And they followed that up by bringing in Justin Fields.
$20 million a year. Yeah, you're hyperinflating the quarterback market there.
Hey, Daniel Jones got $15 million, by the way.
Yeah, probably because Justin Fields got $20 million. Imagine being Anthony Richardson right now and be like, that is like the ultimate ultimatum for a quarterback.
Hey, we'll take him.
It's like
we'll take him.
It's
we love an accurate quarterbacks.
It's like beat Daniel Jones in training camp, or you're out of the league.
Hey, we'll take him.
Daniel Jones?
No, Anthony Richardson.
I mean, yeah.
We love inaccurate quarterbacks that can move. We just signed Justin Fields. Come on now. We just signed Justin Fields. I understand the idea of this. Bringing a more mobile quarterback with a terrible offensive line, because that's what Aaron Glenn wanted to do. And then we follow that up by losing DJ Reed. So we've lost more than we gained. We signed Brandon Stevens, who's kind of terrible now. $12 million a year for him, though. That's the same money we gave DJ Reed 3 years ago.
That's how much Miko Rantan's making.
That
next
is
year.
absurd, by the way.
Tells you the state of the economy in both of those sports.
Yeah.
It's also, by the way, DJ Reed's only making $4 more million a year, but because it's DJ Reed, he's actually really good, but had a bad year with the Jets. He went to the Lions, which I think is a phenomenal move for them, by the way. For a secondary, that got torched by Washington. But the Jets, they've had a very weird start. They've been linked to like everyone. They've also rumored to like trade half the team at this point. How would you assess the Jets free agency so far? By the way, great for the Jets. D. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I've heard nothing about the Jets outside of them signing Justin Fields, and I think they give him a bit much on the salary side, but
Well, who would you rather have?
I mean,
Aaron Rodgers or
like,
Justin Fields?
Justin Fields, because he's actually committed to play a game for us. That's a no-brainer. At least
I mean,
he's
yeah, like
committed to
Justin
play a
Fields-
game.
I mean, you know what? I mean, I think
Oh.
Justin Fields is just following the
I forgot to mention one
career
move.
path to like trying to be a reclamation project because he's trying to go to the Jets and then he's going to try and get that former Jet tag on him or that former Jet X factor about him so he can go to another team and like try to become a reclamation project. for someone else.
Almost forgot we signed.
Also, every other quarterback on the market who wasn't Justin Fields was a former Jet. Sam Darnold, a former Jet. Aaron Rodgers just got cut by the Jets. Geno Smith,
he got traded though. That doesn't
yeah, to the
count.
Raiders.
Daniel
But no,
Jones?
I'm saying Geno Smith.
Daniel
was-
Jones.
Th-
Yeah,
Jo-
he didn't play
Daniel
for the
Jones never wants to set foot in New York again. Which
Well,
I-
unfortunately, because he's with Indianapolis, I believe, and they don't play the Jets this year because the NFC South plays the Jets this
the
year.
Colts play the Giants next year, though.
Oh, great! So maybe Daniel Jones actually will be a good quarterback for once.
Probably.
Maybe I don't know.
No, he won't. It's Daniel Jones. This is Daniel Jones we're talking about here.
I'm,
No,
surprised.
no.
I'm surprised you're saying that, considering how pessimistic you are. You are anyway.
Dude, Daniel Jones. Dude, Daniel Jones transcends that.
We'll see. I mean, I don't care.
I mean,
Also, like, dude, if Kevin O'Connell couldn't fix him, then
Well, he didn't really play him.
he didn't
But
play
yeah,
a game.
yeah, he didn't play a game, but he
Because
could
Sam
have played a
Darnold
game.
looked like significantly better,
Yeah, I know.
excluding
I
a
know.
playoff game. Like that playoff game for Sam Darnold made me want to put forks him through my eyeballs.
Aaron Rodgers needs to go to Minnesota.
No.
Like, I don't think
Can he go to? Can
Well,
he
I
just
mean-
sign with like Pittsburgh? and just
everybody
end the narrative?
knows he's signing with the Steelers.
This
everybody
is like
knows
the move
that.
from last year.
It's like I'm being
from 2 years ago.
I'm being held hostage here. The Giants are being held hostage because they can't. But I know Russ is visiting with them tomorrow.
That's the weirdest move ever. They signed.
But dude, again, one of these guys isn't being billed as a savior. They're being billed
As
as
a
a bridge, a competent enough bridge. I can trust Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson to be a competent enough bridge. They're not like franchise saviors. I can trust them to give me semi-watchable quarterback play.
I agree.
I mean, I don't even know what to expect out of the
I
old
just
quarterbacks
want-
anymore.
I just want watchable quarterbacks.
Hey, we
Like,
can't get that
I want
either.
somebody who can just give Malik Neighbors the football and make him happy.
I think you can do that. By the way, the Jets also signed Andre Cisco, which is arguably the best move we've done. And that was not our first move. Because the Jets signed Andre Cisco to a 1-year deal. He was solid in Jacksonville, other than last year, playing safety. And the Jets safeties have arguably been the worst in the AFC East for a while now. So hopefully they get that tightened up with Cisco and probably playing him with Tony Adams. More short safeties. What else can go wrong? But Jets, I'll be less harsh. I'll give them a C-. C- so far for their free agency. They signed a couple positions of need. They lost Devontae Adams after just trading for him. It's like we're the freaking Hurricanes with Rantanen.
Well, except you actually got nothing.
Except we did get nothing.
Except you actually got nothing.
We did. We traded a 3rd-round pick for a guy to play 5 games for us. What is the equivalent? Here's a question for the chat or the comments. What is the equivalent of an NFL 3rd-round pick in the NHL?
The equivalent of a 3rd-round pick. Wait, what was it?
So an NFL 3rd-round pick, which does have value.
Yes.
What is that the equivalent to in terms of NHL draft picks?
Oh God.
Weird question, I know, because you guys went after first round picks last week, like the lack of value of first round picks last week. Is it like a early second at this rate?
I guess.
That works. So the Jets basically traded an NHL's early second round pick for a guy to not play more than 5 games. That's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant by the Jets. But they're not the only team to make moves in free agency. And we head over to the boys in the blue with the New York Giants, Cam, who, real quick, before we go to break, you could talk about my favorite free agency signing so far, Javon Holland.
Was not expecting that. And
I don't think anyone did.
Love it. I love it.
Great
I love
value,
it.
too.
I love it.
Great
Dude,
value,
that
too.
value. Oh my God, dude. I am going into this offseason. I was afraid that Joe Shane was going to have like a desperate job saving spending spree.
And he hasn't really overspent on
He
anyone.
hasn't overspent on. Dude, Paulson Adebo.
That's pretty good.
I mean, he's a guy who's like, he addresses like the main weakness in the play style of the secondary, which was not being able to make plays on the ball. Meanwhile, he's led the league in forced incompletions and interceptions and all that since like 2023. And he's only 25. He's got room to grow. That is a guy who.
Now here's a guy.
No, here's a guy here who, if that's not bad, Chris Collinsworth.
That actually wasn't that bad.
Here's a
Rate
guy.
that
Look
in the
at
comments.
what a play by Mahomes there. God, it hurts my throat. But,
Karma, I guess.
Anyways, back to what you were
Yes,
saying.
back to
But,
Javon Holland.
but
And
no,
company.
I'm thinking about Paulson Adebo here. but,
Paulson
like,
Adebo, yes.
like, I think if he takes an extra step, those 2 years, like the remaining 2 years on that contract, if he takes a step next year and becomes like a really, really good CB1, that's like a potential defensive cornerstone there. You could look at that. Like when I saw that move, I'm like, wow. Okay. Like that's legit. I thought he was going to overspend like on some big name brand like DJ Reed or Trevarius Ward, but Paulson Adebo, that's a really good move. And there's not much of a cap hit this year. And also everything can be restructured too to create more space. The salary cap is a social construct.
I mean, have you seen how much like some teams have in cap space and they haven't done anything? Shout out Dallas Cowboys for not really doing a lot.
Also, speaking of the Dallas Cowboys, this is another move that I like from the Giants.
Oh,
Chauncey Golston.
yes.
When
That was a good one
I
too.
saw that move, I was like, yes. I was like, yes, yes, yes.
Defensive line.
I love depth pass rushers. That's how
Who
we won.
doesn't?
That's how we won 2 Super Bowls, by having pass rushers come off the bench who can create pressure.
I mean, there's so
Like,
many.
you can
guys.
never have enough of it.
I love these.
Hey, that's
love
a
that
Jets
move.
line at this
Dude,
point.
like, and I'm just thinking, dude, if they don't like, if a quarterback's not on the board, dude, just Abdul Carter on that defense. Oh, I'm
That'd be worth
salivating.
it. That would be
I'm
worth it.
salivating. I would love to just stack the deck there. Just every year, like spending premiums on pass rushers. It's like you can win games with that, just like on its own.
Yeah.
On
that
its
makes-
own, you could
That makes
you
the
could
defense
win with that.
that makes the defense very good.
Now, all of a sudden, take a look at this Giant defense now. Like at least the starting unit, which we know won't last, but you have a starting unit now. You have a defensive line of Brian Burns, Dexter Lawrence, a defensive tackle who they're probably going to draft,
Mhm.
and Kayvon Thibodeau, with Chauncey Golston coming off the bench or lining up inside on some of those packages to have all 4 of them out there.
He's a free agent, right? Or did he
Yeah,
sign
he's still
somewhere?
a free agent.
Okay.
To be honest, I could see him just re-signing here for 1
I
year.
could.
I want that. I want that to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in linebackers, you have Bobby Okereke and
Yep.
Micah McFadden. Maybe
I love
Isaiah-
both of them. by the
Maybe
way.
Isaiah Simmons. Dude, those are some underrated players right there. Micah McFadden, especially.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, you have a secondary of you have Paulson Adebo as CB1, Deontay Banks as CB2, and you have Andrew Phillips as your nickel. With guys like Cordell Flott and Dane Belton coming off the bench,
Mhm.
who are
that
serviceable,
back end is
like who are
terrible.
serviceable enough. I mean,
Serviceable.
Cordell Flott. I meant serviceable, like off the bench.
Off the bat. Yeah, obviously. And then safeties, you
have
have
safeties. You have Javon Holland and Tyler Nubin.
Newman.
imagine you guys re-signing Xavier McKinney. That
Well, again,
guy-
dude,
You got a
we-
third-round pick.
like, instead of Xavier McKinney, we basically traded Xavier McKinney for Javon Holland and a 3rd-round pick.
Yeah.
I take that.
yeah, that's not the worst.
I take that. And you're paying Holland significantly less than what you would have paid McKinney.
Yeah.
The Giants, what would you grade them free agency?
I'm giving them a B for now.
A B for now. Okay.
I'm gonna have to wait.
We're satisfied with the.
I'm waiting for this quarterback thing to be solved. If they secure one of Rodgers or Wilson and they end up getting a guard,
I mean,
then
they got Van Roten back last night, I think.
Greg Van Ball. I mean, Greg Van Roten.
I know,
is
he's-
not really.
I know he's depth.
They moved
basically.
Evan Neal to guard.
Oh,
Yes,
finally.
finally.
Not only like 2 years too late, but
It's like the Eagles when they
But-
moved Mekhi Becton to guard.
but they finally moved him to guard. I think he could be.
Why? Just try it. Just give it a shot. Just give it a
Just
shot.
give me a chance. Well, what would you grade their free agency so far?
I guess B.
Yeah, so 2
I'm
B's.
not, he's more in tune than I
I'm
am.
going with a B plus. I did not
A B
expect them
plus? Yeah.
because
I
they
did- yeah,
signed Javon Holland.
Yeah.
That's why. If they didn't get Javon Holland, it'd be a D.
D,
Like,
really?
really that
Dude,
much?
Paulson Debo.
He's
Dude,
good.
Paulson Debo, Chauncey Golston?
Because they didn't do enough. They needed more. But Javon Holland is the defensive difference maker that you guys needed. Brilliant work getting
Need
Javon
ball
Holland.
hawks.
Yes, ball hawk type players. But while we'd love to talk more about ball hawk type players, we got to take another break. When we return, more NFL free agency and our picks for Iona and Manhattan tonight when we return on WIUR Gales Radio in just a moment.
This is WIUR Radio.
Before we return from our break, I'm Robbie Basil along with Luke and Cam. And we're just going to go over a couple of announcements. So make sure to follow WIUR Gales Radio on Instagram for all club updates and more. And if you're looking for a direct line to the people of Iona, reach out to us and let us know if you have any event or program. You can talk about the Instagram or email James Melvin for any requests. And do you know a lot, but don't have a lot of time to say it? WIUR is looking for writers to create top of the hour news, sports, and entertainment updates. Updates are created once a week and will be about 90 seconds. Equipment will be provided by the e-board. Reach out to us if you are interested. And also, I think, Luke, we can say this as well when you're here. We did win Show of the Week, chat. We did. We'll do it again. No, we don't need to hit that button again for the rest of the day. But yes, we won Show of the Week once again. So thank you guys once again for voting us on Instagram for Show of the Week. And also make sure to check out WIUR Sports Broadcasting on Mixler tomorrow. It is the first game of baseball here. Well, it's not really here. It's at City Park in New Rochelle, just down the road. It is Iona and the Mount coverage beginning 2:55 p.m. Eastern, 3 o'clock first pitch. It'll be myself and my friend to my right, Cameron Woolley, as we welcome you back to the WIUR studios in the third floor of the Murphy Center. I'm Robbie Basil alongside Cameron Woolley and Luke Dolan, the same Ball Knowers crew as you guys know and love. And while we could continue to talk about our teams for so long, and we could be here to the point of when Cam and I have to take a midterm, we got other free agency moves that we could totally talk about. And just
Also, I totally forgot, dude, the Garrett Cole, Tommy John.
oh yes, we could briefly bring up Garrett Cole.
And Sean and I is resuming spring training activity.
Yes, Sham and I came back with spring training activity. We'll bring that up right at the end, but real quick so we can do that. Do you have your favorite move or like a winner or loser of free agency so far, Cam? Do you want me to go first?
I'm
You guys
looking
can
at
think about
my
it?
favorite move that I saw. I mean, honestly, Joey Bosa to the Bills.
Yes,
I think
it's a good one.
that is just a good move. It's a really good pass rusher. And I think him going to the Bills, the Bills, they need all of the attrition they need.
Like I think it's a good move for the Bills, especially since they lost Von Miller. Them getting a good pass rusher in Joey Bosa, that's pretty good. My favorite move, and I hate to say this because it was a good move for the Rams. I'm going to say Devontae Adams to the Rams. He's the only old receiver to actually like win in free agency so far. I mean, if you're talking about winners, of free agency, you have to mention Devontae Adams and probably Pittsburgh as a whole because they traded for DK Metcalf,
Of course.
which is a brilliant move, by the way,
they still
by
need a
Pittsburgh.
quarterback, but they're probably going to sign Rodgers.
So since Aaron Rodgers is probably going to the Steelers, it will be Aaron Rodgers with DK Metcalf
George
and
Pickens.
George Pickens? Huh?
Hey, man.
I mean, at this rate, that team might collapse faster than the Jets did because DK Metcalf and George Pickens might be doing some off the field antics, if you know what I'm talking about with
Oh,
both
yeah.
of these players.
Oh, yeah, of course.
So while the shenanigans
That's a
can
sell,
be-
but dude, Days of Our Steelers.
Days of
Dude,
our
dude, Days of Our
Well-
Steelers is going to go hard this year.
Welcome back to another edition of Days of Our Steelers. Shout out Urinating Tree, who actually shouted me out on his YouTube stream during the NHL trade.
Really?
Yeah, because I asked a question. He gave
Oh.
me a shout out. Shout out to him. But one other move that I thought
He's
was-
been on my podcast before.
yeah, I know. Yeah, he
He
was
was on
actually
the
my
Cameron
friend's
Bully-
one recently.
He was on the Cameron Woolley show. So
you
like,
need to bring that back, by the way.
I mean, dude,
all
the
my
Cameron- I mean,
Rangers.
Another edition of All My Rangers. I screwed up the end, but well, another you could talk about teams that screwed up. How about one other team I think we should talk about as a winner? And I'll just bring them up. Washington.
Yeah.
Hello.
Ooh,
They
Laramie
traded
Tunsil.
for a guy who can't catch, but they also traded for offensive line help, which also brings me up to the biggest loser so far, one of the biggest losers in the Houston Texans, because they needed an offensive line. And who did they get? Ladies and gentlemen, nothing. Because they traded another one to the Eagles. They traded Kenyon Green to the Eagles for, I don't even remember what it was for. But the Texans haven't really done a lot. But Washington, I think, Luke, you could say you were impressed by what Washington has done so far
Yeah,
by
I mean,
trading for Debo Samuel and acquiring
Just
Laramie Tunsil.
just using assets to get better. It's of course a good strategy to win.
It is a good strategy to win. You would know from watching the NHL and how much some key assets, if you trade them, could turn into some brilliant players, or if you get finessed, like
Yeah, using
get worse.
assets that you can like pile in it, like chip in, like pull your chips into like some baskets.
yeah.
Just
So,
put some chips in the other baskets.
do you like Washington's strategy of going on semi all in, but not totally all in?
I mean, they have a really good quarterback on a rookie contract. That's kind of what you have to
It's
do.
kind of what you have to do. Yeah.
dude,
although,
their
like, Laramie
defensive line
Tunsil-
is so bad. They lost Jonathan Allen.
Yeah, that's right. But I trust that front office to get the
Place.
replacements. Although they're kind of in the honeymoon phase right now where everybody thinks that they
Yeah.
can do no wrong.
Because it's not Dan Snyder.
Yeah, it's not Dan
True,
Snyder. It's
yeah.
Adam Pierce. They got Josh. I know a thing or two about Josh Harris, but like,
Yeah.
That's
Uh,
it's
And
a
how,
weird.
how his hockey team is actually not doing bad now.
I mean, I don't know. Dude, it's a weird. I was talking about. It's like the sport's so weird. Dude. It would be Cody Glass. who would,
Cody
like,
Glass,
who
ladies and
would-
gentlemen.
who would be the piece. Like, I don't know, because like the Rangers, they had a trade deadline where like Tyler Mott ended up being like a huge
He was a
contributor.
he was a really good penalty killer and a good forechecker. I'm
Good-
a
me-
you
me-
will never
me-
you will never catch me saying anything bad about Tyler Mott, man.
Oh god. I mean, Tyler Mott was a good player for the Rangers, and of course, Cody Glass might turn into a pane of glass in a couple of weeks, if you know what I'm saying. That was terrible. I know. D on the joke. I'm trying. I'm not a big joke person.
Not
person.
funny.
I know I'm not. You don't need to like rub it in, guys, because I can state the obvious. I can make the references, but I'm just not funny. So give me Robbie's not funny in the comments, but
Unfunny.
unfunny indeed.
Not funny.
Not
That-
hu- not humor,
laugh.
not
That's
humorous.
Oh my god.
I just made a joke that's too chronically unlisted.
Yes, I know what you were referring to.
Well-
also peep this order that I just did from a Vitent. I was just on Boost while you guys were like.
Oh, I
talking.
know. I saw it.
No,
He's trying to order the food.
No,
before-
I cooked my head of time because I'm going on to get lunch. I got a cheeseburger, I got
Alright.
bacon, and I got a bag of nacho cheese Doritos. I'm
Ooh.
gonna squish it on there.
Oh my god. I've never tried that, you know.
You've never had chips on a cheeseburger?
No.
It's a game changer.
That just
It is a
sounds
game-
wrong.
oh,
It's a
dude,
game
dude, that's it's a condiment. When it comes to a sandwich, dude, chips are a condiment.
I've never
Dude,
done
it's
that.
funny. It's like me. I'm just like, oh, I need to start losing more weight again because, like, after my birthday, I gained a little bit of birthday weight. And was like, I was.
yeah, happy
I
21st.
just turned.
Yes,
yeah,
happy
just turned
21st, yeah.
21. So like, you can imagine. But like,
Yeah, no,
Um,
Cam turning 21. Where has time gone? Remember
Yeah.
when
I don't feel like a grown up.
I remember when we were both 18 and we just got here.
Oh,
I remember
yeah.
when I first met him. It was right before you turned 19, and we were just like hanging. What were we hanging out in the game room or
The
something?
old game room at LSU. Dude,
Yeah.
I missed that place.
Same.
I missed that hallway because you had esports, you had the public room,
Starbucks,
Starbucks,
and then
and
WIUR.
the Unity Lounge, and WIUR just like
all there.
in the same hallway.
Yeah.
Also, not to mention, you go upstairs, you have a whole dining hall.
Right.
Dude, that was the place to be. I spent probably 10 hours a day in that, like every day.
I say
because
4.
I had my whole life was just in that building.
That's how I met some of my friends is from going down to the game room, a game room that I really didn't go to in the beginning, but I started hanging out there in January, and I hung out there for like a year, eventually it's for a total of a year and a half, and now it's. I mean,
And
we're
then
just
there were
going
some
nuts.
fun events in that room too. We had the big
Mar-
Mario Kart tournament. That
ended
was
ter-
a stinky room though. It was bad.
Yeah, it was
It was
bad.
bad.
And we were there for like 4 hours.
I don't think I showered that morning either.
Well,
so
f-
like I was down there. I made it to Grandson. That was a big pool too.
There was
Like of a lot of people.
and that was not. It was fun to watch though. The ending sucked. If you remember how it ended, because like Cam got eliminated and he didn't lose.
Well,
You got eliminated when you didn't lose.
I got bounced. Well, I played in the second place game with
all I remember.
I played with my friend with Andres. And
Yes.
I played in the. And I would have gotten third, but like he didn't know how like trailing a bomb worked, and I hit him. I hit his bomb with a red shell, and it ended up blowing him up because he was in the middle of a drift. And a little known fact about Mario Kart: if you're trailing a bomb and you're in a drift, and like someone's redding you, someone hits that bomb, you get blown up.
Well, real quick,
It was a final turn on lap 3 of Yoshi Circuit. and,
Yes, you were talking about that. For
like I know way too much about that game. Hey,
yes, you
so
did.
Fall
It's a
2023,
concern.
Fall 2023 CKL Division 3 champion. This
Yes,
guy right here.
Go on, but real quick, 'cause we got 6 minutes left. We're gonna let you. You get 90 seconds. Garrett Cole, Tommy John, talk to us about it because we still got 2 more things to talk about afterwards.
To be honest, I just think that's the end of the window. That was the main takeaway. Normally, when I talk about the Yankees, I get all angry and all like rah 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 rah. But this time, I'm just like, I don't really feel much. It's like it's just honestly, I'm kind of relieved to go into a year where I'm not really putting the pressure of like championship or bust on a season, because I think at this point, I don't think there's really any hope for this team to win a championship. They had their chances last year. That was kind of their best shot in the weak American League. They had Juan Soto, and the guys who they got to perform around Judge, they performed. They traded for Stan to perform around Judge. He performed around them. They traded for Soto to perform around Judge. He performed around them. They signed Garrett Cole to be a shutdown ace in October. That's what he was. They signed Carlos Rodon to pitch big games in October. He did. And they traded for, well, Jazz Chisholm didn't really do anything, but like they got guys. And to be honest, dude, I see people saying, oh, Judge, they wasted his prime. It's like, no, he wasted his own prime with that playoff run last year. You're getting no sympathy for me or from me for him. So that's my whole takeaway. To be honest, I don't think the Yankees are really going to make any real positive strides until like the 2030s or like the late 2020s, because I know Paul Skeens becomes a free agent when Garrett Cole and
He
Carlos
really
Rod-
thinks they're going to sign
when,
Paul
when Garrett
Skeens
Cole
in
and
it.
Carlos Rodon's contracts are up. I know Paul Skeens is a free agent. They'll probably throw a bunch of money at him. And honestly, they just got to wait for all those contracts to come off the books. They got to transition into a new era because this one was a bust. I think officially at this point, you can put it to bed. This year, this was kind of like viewed as maybe they can do something, but everything had to break right. And then so many things broke wrong.
Yes.
And for me,
Still might be. a
I
elite team in
think
the
I
AL
think
because-
that's no,
Still,
no.
they can be.
I'm not. No, I'm
Have you
not.
seen the rest of the
I'm
league?
not. I'm not talking myself into it. I'm not giving myself hope. I'm not talking myself into anything. It's shot now. They had their chances and they blew it with a combination of constant half measures and prospect hugging and pragmatism and underperformances in October from the guys who were supposed to perform. And that's, if I could put a eulogy on it, that's about the best way I can put it.
Well, now that you said that, how do you react to games now, knowing that you have this mindset of nothing really matters? Is it going to be more clear or more like maybe like not as stressful? Just to see
I'm
Blitz play?
like honestly, I'm not as worked up about baseball. I mean, I'm gonna like obviously there are gonna be isolated incidents where I'm gonna be like, what the hell? Well, it depends. If they get off to like a really good start, then things will start to like. I'm just taking it game by game. It's like last year I was going and I'm like, yeah, like you have Juan Soto, you better. It was like you better win the American League this year, at least. And they did, and then they blew the World Series.
There you go. But we still have very little time left. We'll talk about the Yankees in 2 weeks because that's when our next episode.
But
is
yeah,
going
we
to
can
be.
go more in depth on that.
Let's go, Sean and I. He returns from injury in the back end of spring training. Your thoughts on what's going on?
That's huge for a pitching rotation. For a pitching rotation that people have been calling pretty thin, which is fine. Which is good. He's having him back and potentially maybe around for the opening day roster would be huge. He was really good last year, and he expects to be pretty good this year. In other news, Jeff McNeil's out 3 to 4 weeks with an oblique injury.
Let's go. More Met injuries. Come on.
Yeah.
We're going to be so bad in April.
Amateur hour.
And
Amateur, please. 5 weeks. Like 8 weeks, please. That's nothing. He's back by May.
And Francisco Alvarez is out 6 to 8 weeks.
Oh, please.
With a bone. He has to get surgery.
Bone contusion or whatever it is.
No, it was like I
bone
forget the-
fracture. That's what it is.
My ace got Tommy John, and our best playoff performers' elbows don't work.
Listen, I have to
Nice.
I have to see Brett Beatty be paraded as an actual
I have
piece.
to see DJ LeMahieu get it bad. So, I mean, whatever. I said I'm not going to get worked up about it.
So the Mets
But
are
the door is open once again for Brett Beatty to do something, and the cycle continues.
it's like
I call him Mr. February for a reason.
Mr. February? That's good. That's good.
Mr. February and Mr. Early March.
the spring training merchant at it again. But before we finish with today's episode, I know we're running a little bit long, but we are going to pick the winner of Iona and Manhattan tonight's men's college basketball on ESPN Plus. It's the rivalry. It's the rubber match, and it's all live in just about 5 hours from now. We're gonna go around the horn for who we got winning this game. Cam, you're first. Who do you got winning?
First of all,
tonight?
if I was an AC for esports, I'd be going to this game.
Oh,
I'd be sitting courtside.
Hey,
I'd be
we
having
might be there next year, so who knows?
I'd be having a ball down there. But anyways, given that I can't really like with all of the sports things that have happened in my life in the last year, I don't know if I can like live with losing to Manhattan in a playoff game, like having our season ended by the Manhattan Jaspers. And to be honest, I think we're really kind of hitting our stride. We have the best bigs in this conference. We're one of the best offensive rebounding teams in the country.
Yeah.
Day Reeves, he's hitting the stride. Adam Jai's coming on.
And Dave Reeves is coming back for another year.
Yeah,
Which that's huge. I'm shocked. And
I think everyone is.
and I think and we beat them in Hines last time. We looked really good when we were healthy. And that's the important thing. We have the whole unit there. I'm actually gonna pick my team here. I think
Score prediction?
I'm not gonna come up with a score, but I think as long as they're gonna have a lead in the second half. I know they're gonna have one, but the issue is they just gotta hang on to it. And the game against Sacred Heart, which I unfortunately missed.
It was the reverse. It was reverse.
It was the
Reverse
reverse
psychology, yeah.
If we get that,
type of offensive performance.
if we get that type of offense,
Also, the game with Sacred Heart and Merrimack last night.
Yeah, brilliant game last night. I mean, we could talk about that game so much,
yeah.
but so Cam, Close win, blowout. How would you
I
rate it?
think it's going to be close, but I think we'll pull it out.
Cam's got a close win for Iona. Who do you got, Luke?
I gotta go with Iona just because I also can't live without if Manhattan beats us. Also because my dad went to Manhattan, so that's gonna be an interesting viewing experience tonight.
Yeah, that will be fun. I am going to say that the script will be the same as last year. Iona get blown out on the road, win at home, win a very tight game against the Jaspers. I'm going to say that happens tonight. One possession game. It's going to be better than Sacred Heart Merrimack from last night.
If we're gonna go to trouble overtime,
No, I don't know. Please,
we need
God, no.
overtime
I
to
can't
break him.
handle triple overtime. No,
Hey,
no, I had to deal with this at the Four Nations. No, I can't. I can't do this.
Empire Sports Media Gales by a million.
Gales by a million. That's the hope. But maybe, chat. We can go like that 4 overtime game in the ACC tournament. From
No, I don't want any overtime. I want this game to be over with like 5 minutes left. I want to be able to just kick back and relax.
But it's
and
gonna be a
like,
close game, you said.
Yes, you did.
yeah, I think I said it's going to be close. I don't want it to be close. Nobody wants it to be close.
Well, we'll see how they go about it tonight. 6 p.m. ESPN Plus. It will be fun. It's the rivalry that has no name yet all the history. Gales, Jaspers tonight, 6 p.m. ESPN Plus. Unfortunately, that is where our show will end today with my incredible co-hosts of Cameron Woolley and Luke Dolan. I'm Robbie Basil saying so long. Enjoy spring break, Iona Gales. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Crush your midterms.
Maybe the Rangers will still be winless.
Maybe they will. See you guys next time.
Live from New York, this is WIUR Radio.